You had the most wonderful football career. People forget just how wonderful it was. 57 caps for England. Reached the semi-finals of the 1990 World Cup. Oh boy, you should have won that game.
Yeah, I should have won that.
And mind you, if you had, you would have played in the final. So
yeah, I would like to think I would have got 100 caps for England as well. But the fact that I missed 4 years of international football, and God, to think how many friendlies were playing as well, you know. So it's a shame that I don't see friendlies. It counts as half a cap, because most of them England players would only have about 20 caps. Yeah, because they don't last very long in tournaments.
No. And you played for some wonderful clubs at Newcastle, obviously, where it all began. And aren't they doing well now, by the way?
Yeah, Newcastle are flying, doing really, really well. I'm pleased for them, and pleased for Mike Ashley, because he took a hell of a lot of stick for 2 years. You know, he's still there, and the club are in financial great position. And you know, he changed the name, but it'll never be changed. The lads, everyone always still call it St James's Park, you know. But what he's doing is investing for the club, you know, as well. So, you know, I think it's about time, like the fans, you know, started to appreciate what he's doing for the club, because I've spoken him a couple of times, and he really is a genuine lovely guy.
And then I remember when you moved down to Spurs, and everybody, they weren't quite sure, because you were, you know, absolute Geordie lad. You were still a kid, and it was a big move to a big London club. But I think it's probably fair to say it worked very well.
Yeah, it did. I mean, on the Terry Founders was fantastic. You know, he looked after us, and I looked after them as well, you know. We got the FA Cup final, you know, we're doing really well in the league, and Spurs got 8.5 million for us, so it was quite a good investment. I should have stayed another year, though.
Yes, you should have done, you reckon?
Yeah, definitely. You know, and probably... Definitely, you know, should have stayed on at Rangers, you know, and probably should have stayed at Everton for the rest of the year. So, a few little, not massive regrets, because I enjoyed it still when I was there, you know. And it doesn't matter where I am anyway, as long as I'm playing football, I actually do what I do. You know?
Well, then he went on to Lazio. I mean, talk about Newcastle to Spurs being a big move. How about Spurs to Italy, Serie A, where you played for a team that later you found out were involved in all sorts of shenanigans?
Yeah, I did. It was only till this year, I think. The players were caught, you know, match fixing. So, you know, you wonder what would have happened, you know, if they hadn't won that game. Why did that end up 0-0? Why did he miss that goal? It's all that.
That explains why he didn't win the trophy there.
Yeah,
maybe.
Exactly. Why did he let why did he let that goal in, you know? And so a lot of things just go through in your mind, you know, and you think, I remember that game, I got hammered for not playing well. But it wasn't that. If the players are not playing well, then, you know, I know another reason why.
And then Rangers, and you won a lot of trophies with Rangers, and you got a great relationship with Walter Smith, didn't you?
Yeah, well, it was a great man, you know, he knew when to be tough on us. You know, he really knew then, and...
he looked after you as well. I used to go and have Christmas dinner with him.
Yeah, I did like Christmas lunch with him. He invited us down once, because I was on my own around for Christmas. It was really nice. Had a few drinks with him, and then he told us, you know, I gave him 2 days and make sure you play well, otherwise you're in for the chop. And so I made sure I worked my nuts off that game. I remember getting a goal as well. I think we won 7-1.
It's unbelievable where Rangers are now.
Yeah.
And your old teammate is Ali McCoy is the manager.
Yeah, it's a shame, because he's Rangers through and through, you know. And you know, when I went to see him when he got the manager's job, it was like after a few, you know, I think it was only before Christmas. He was doing a fantastic job, and not only that, it's great to see a teammate and manager of such a massive club like Glasgow Rangers. And it's unfortunate that there's the position at the moment, you know. But hopefully I think they can get out of that position, because that is a massive club. And then start funding Coisey to bring in some good players, because he's got an eye for a great player. And Rangers need to be up there again where they belong, you know.
Now, you're talking about being a force. Wouldn't it be nice if England were a force? The last time England really did something was when you played in '96 and they reached the semi-finals of the European Championships. It's been quite a barren cupboard since then. Any chance of success in the future?
Well, I hope so. You know, when we've been performing really well, and you know, we got beat by a 36-year-old Robin, who plays for Holland, and he seemed to rip England apart a little bit, and he's 36. So, you know, it just tells me what I call him 36 and all, really, but I have to say 36 because of his hair, he's going baldy. But no, we need to improve what we are, and I didn't like it when we says we've got young, inexperienced international players. Well, unfortunately, 10 of them play in the Premiership on 100 grand plus a week. You know, what more do you want? And the Premier is supposed to be the biggest league in the world. And what, these players are playing in it, but they're not experienced enough to play for your national team. know, I didn't think of that. We'll beat fair and square and we weren't good enough, and that is the bottom part of it. You know, we've got to have a manager you've got to have a manager players want to play for, and I know they didn't want to play for Capello. You know, who knows, everybody wants Harry, but I think I'd like Harry as the manager, but does he want to be slaughtered off the press? Because that's all that's going to happen. Full stop on that one.
Now finally, Paul, for me, probably your two best goals were the free kick in the semi-final against Arsenal in '91 and the '96 goal against Scotland, which I'm sure to this day Colin Hendry has nightmares about, the little chip over his head and the volley. But you may have others.
No, I have a few others that weren't really probably filmed on camera, you know. I had a few goals. There was one I beat about 5 players and 5 touches and then scored. I think that was against Brescia, I think, away when I played with Lazio. But yeah, the free kick against Seaman takes some beating because he was a world-class keeper, wasn't he?
He took some beating, especially from 35 yards.
Yeah, he shouldn't have went for that. He was better off leaving that. I mean, he should have looked more going for it. But never mind, Dave, I've spoken to him about it. And Colin Henry obviously won. I think he's still at Wembley. That was a great goal because I was getting stick again from the press. It's a shame how press like that, but that's the way they are, and you know, you just got to be tough enough to take that on the chin. And you know, luckily enough, I had enough experience to get being in the papers, getting hammered left, right, and centre. But to get one against Scotland, because I was playing up there, was great, you know, and I remember cutting all the paper cuttings out and keep putting them in the dressing room.
Well, look, it's really good to see you smiling again.
Cheers.
Okay, everybody's with you. Everybody's for you, and I hope that in 5 years' time we'll be sitting here and you'll be 6 years sober.
Yeah, it should be. Sorry, hopefully. Oh God. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I'm really, you know, like I said, I didn't even look forward to tomorrow. You know, I just try and keep it in the day. But there's some stuff I have to. Like if I've got an appointment to go somewhere, I'll do it. But yeah, you know, I'm not like I said, I'm not a drink so far again. Let's hope tomorrow I won't either.